Good morning, my name is Jerry, and this is a video demonstration on how to install osTicket with prerequisites. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is to create a virtual machine. Remember, the osTicket is going to be installed in the virtual machine. So what do we do first is to go to virtual machine. Now, to create a virtual machine, we ensure that all our resources have been put in one resource group. This can be achieved in two ways. However, we're going to take this way, going to create virtual machine, and as we create our virtual machine, we're going to create resource group all at once. So it takes a little time. Let's go. So let's create our resource group first. You can see we have to create a resource group here. So I'm going to call my resource group OS osTicket lab lab 1 osTicket lab 1. I'm going to say OK. So I'm going to name our virtual machine VM osTicket. I'm going to choose a location. Maybe I'm going to choose West US. Let's go. Let's use 3. And then since we're creating a Windows 10 virtual machine, so I'm going to select Windows 10. Let's say Windows 10 Pro. Okay. And then we're going to move down to our username. So I'm going to call it lab user 7, and I have a password for that. You can as well create your own password. Okay, but I think let me change the name to Jerry lab user 7. Jerry lab user 7. And then you kind of want to use any password you like, that you can easily remember. So I've chosen something here, which is password 777. Okay, then I'm going to say next. And I'm going to save it here. So for easy retrieval, then I'm going to go to networking. Then in our networking, we have our VNet being created automatically. So I'm going to say review plus create. Takes a little time. Okay, now it's ready. We're going to create it. That's our visual machine. So as we wait for the visual machine to get ready, then we will, let's look at what we do. So we're going to be creating the osTickets. So as you can see, our visual machine is ready. So we're going to click on it in order to retrieve the IP address so we can connect to the remote desktop in order to open our virtual machine to install osTicket. So I'm going to copy this. That's our IP. That's our public IP address, and I'm going to paste it into the remote desktop connection. And I'm going to say connect. And when I say connect, then it's going to show me this way to put my username. So I'm going to go to the username that I created when I was creating there. So what did I call it? I call it Jerry lab user 7. Jerry lab user 7. That's what I call it, right? Jerry lab user 7. And my password is password 777. 7. Let me see that. That is what I have. Okay. So Jerry, okay. I'm going to log in. I'm going to say remember. So I can log in. Okay, good. So it's successful. And I'm going to say yes. So we can log into our feature. Now, the next thing we're going to do is to install Internet Information Services. So let's go. Okay, so we can see that the window is open. And we're going to say no to all this. No to all this. And we say accept. And then we get into the visual machine. So as you can see, everywhere is blank. this is our visualization. It's a window 10 visualization. So the next thing we're going to do is to install Internet Information Services with CGI. Let's go. How do we do that? We're going to run Control Panel. And once it opens, I'm going to go to where's it? Program. I'm going to go to turn on program features on and off. And I'm going to look for Internet Information Services. I see it here. I'm going to open it. I'm going to find the World Wide Web Services. And I'm going to open it. I'm going to find, again, Application Development Features. I'm going to open it. Then I'm going to go to CGI. That's exactly what I want. So I'm going to click OK in order to. So as soon as this is finished, as soon as the installation is completed, then we're going to install so many other things. Okay, so as you can see, it's completed. I'm going to say close. Once I close, I'm going to minimize this or even close it because we're done with it. So I'm going to close it, and we're moving on to installing some of the things, some of the programs we're going to need in order to install osTicket. Okay, so after installing the Internet Information Services, we'll go down to download and install a bunch of programs that will help us to install osTicket. So first of all, let me show you that I've already downloaded those programs in order not to waste time on this video because I don't want it to take too long. So let me go to download. So you can see here in my download, I have the PHP manager here, I have the rewrite, I have the PHP cell, I have the vSeries, and I have the MySQL and the Heidi MySQL, and then the osTicket itself. So to move on, I'm going to first download the PHP manager because we'll be working strictly on this program. So I'm going to say I agree, then install. Yeah. So we will install the PHP manager, which we're going to be using to work. So I'm going to say close. So as soon as the PHP manager is done, I'm going to install the rewrite program. That's the rewrite MB64. So I'm going to say I accept it and install it. It's going to install fast. Then we go to finish. And once we finish, now we're going to create a directory, on the C drive. So let's go to our C drive here. And to create a directory called PHP. This is a place where we're going to install our PHP. So let me go to the directory. As you can see, our directory here is empty. We do not have such folder yet. So I'm going to create a folder called PHP. And that's a folder. And in this folder, I'm going to go to our PHP file here that we have here. Our PHP file that we already have installed here. There's our PHP file here. And then load it here. I'm going to open the folder where we have our PHP file. And I'm going to extract all the contents of this folder inside a PHP folder that I just created right now. So how do I do it? I'm going to go to my C drive and connect it to the folder that I just created right now in order to install, to extract, or to dump everything in that folder. So as you can see, the folder is already selected. I'm going to say extract. So once I extract everything in all the contents of this PHP is going to be dumped inside our PHP folder. So you can see we already have it dumped here. So the next thing I'm going to do is to download the release. So let's go. I've already installed it. Let's go to the release here, and I'm going to download it. I'm going to install it. Sorry, I've downloaded it. So I'm going to say I agree, install, done. Then the next thing to do is to install the MySQL, which is what I have here. I'm going to go to MySQL also and then click next. I accept next, typical install, and then another instance. Once I say finish, and another instance is going to come out. I'm going to click next. This is a place I'm going to do a standard installation. This is a place we're going to set up a database somehow. So I'm going to say next. Now I'm going to create a password for our roots. So the password I'm using here is going to be password 7777. Password 7777. Okay. I'm going to say next. I'm going to say execute. Then all will be installed. So as soon as all is been installed, okay, finished. So the next thing I'm going to do is to register our PHP within the IIS. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my desktop and I will look for Internet Information Service. So open it. So Internet Information Services, which we have already installed. You can see it here. I'm going to click it. And once I click it, it's going to open. Then when you open, I should be looking for PHP in order to register PHP. So how do I register PHP? I'm going to double click on the PHP manager. I'm going to click on here, register new version. I'm going to go to where I installed PHP, and that is the folder where I installed it. I'm going to connect it to the CGI file. I say open, and I'm going to say OK. So now PHP will be registered. Okay, so that's done. Then I'm going to install osTicket. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to minimize this and go to where I've downloaded the osTicket and install osTicket. So as you can see, we have installed almost everything here. Then we're going to install osTicket. osTicket. I'm going to install osTicket. So osTicket has already been installed. The only thing we're going to do is I'm going to copy this file, this file name upload, and I'm going to and I will go to a folder inside the C drive. And this is the upload folder. I'm going to post it here. I'm going to paste it here. So once I paste it here, the next thing I'm going to do is to rename the upload folder to osTicket. And then we are getting ready to install our osTicket. So let's wait a little bit while it installs. Okay, let's go waiting for it. Let's say the next thing we're going to do is going to be that what we're going to do is to rename it to osTicket. If we've done, then the next thing to do is to go to the side before. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to go to site, and we go to base, and we go to osTicket. Once we click osTicket, we go to browse AT. Now you can see that our osTicket is about to be installed. But you can notice that some of the applications, some of the programs are not turned on. They're turned on. So we're going to make sure that we enable this program in order to install osTicket pretty well. So what are we going to do? We're going back to PHP Manager, and we're going to enable some of the extensions. And how do we do that? We're going to enable some extensions like the one called the IMAP. I'm going to click enable here, and I'm going to go to the another one called PHP INTL, and I'm going to enable it. And I'm going to go to another folder called the OP cache. the OP cache, and I'm going to enable it. Then once I enable it, I'm going to minimize again and reload this folder to see what has changed so far. So we can see that all these programs are now enabled. And the next thing to do once you enable everything, the next thing to do now is to go back to the installation folder where we. So now, before we go into install, and before we click continue to install, we should go back to the folder where we installed our OS tickets, where we uploaded the OS tickets. And we go into this OS ticket folder, right? Yes, the OS ticket folder, and we go to a folder called include and find the OS sample config. And then we're going to rename it first by removing the word sample from it. And after that, we're going to give it a permission. We're going to remove all the restricted permissions to this file, so that the installation, our installation, can manipulate over this file. So how do we do that? We go into advanced and we say disable inheritance, remove all inheritance, and then what we're going to do, we're going to add set principal, and we're going to say everyone, and we're going to look for everyone here, and then we're going to say okay, and we're going to allow full control, and we're going to apply it, I'm saying okay, and we apply it, and we say okay, then we say the final okay. Now everything is right. So what we're going to do right now is, after we're given the right to, then we should be going back to say continue here. So we're going to click continue. So once we continue, we're going to set up our help desk. So I'm going to call my help desk Jerry help desk, Jerry help desk, Jerry help desk. Okay, and I'm going to use an email such as Jerry at Jerry admin at helpdesk.com. Okay, then I'm going to add a user, which I'm the primary user. So I'm going to create Jerry, last name, Part, Monday. Okay, I'm going to say Arlene Jerry, at osTicket, that's helpdesk.com. Helpdesk. Okay, so I have Jerry admin. Okay, let me just say Jerry at helpdesk.com. Okay, and I'm going to use this username, Jerry dot NNAMBI. I'm going to use password, the same password I'm using also for easy retrieval. Password 7777. So let me see that. I'm going to use the same password. I'm going to type it here. Password 7777. Okay, then what do we do here? We need to set up a database, which we have not done yet. So what do we do to set up our database? We need to go and install the final application, and that's going to be the Haiti SQL. That's a Haiti SQL here. The Heavy SQL will allow us to create a database in order to connect to the MySQL server, where we're going to, be putting our all the information about our help desk. So we're gonna install the Heavy SQL here by clicking Next, 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 and creating and install. So once the install is done, we're going to create our database. So what we do is we're going to, we're going to skip here. Then after that, we're going to we're going to create a new section. It's a new section. And we're going to give our password to the program. So the same password we're using, password 777. Okay, yes, that's my password. Let me see if I got it correct. Password 7777. And then I'm going to say open. Open. So this is done. And then the next thing we're going to do is to create our database. And we're going to say new, create new database. And our database, we're going to name it osTicket. Our database, we're going to name it osTicket. osTicket. And then I'm going to say OK. And then done. Okay. So we go into our base, then we have localhost, then we have database. Our database name is osTicket. And our username is root. Our username is root. And our password is password 777. Password 777. Okay, then we're going to say install. We're going to say install. Wow, congratulations. We have our osTicket installed. Uh, Thank you for this, for being in this tutorial. I'm going to see you guys next time. Thank you.